a little bit, take from Islamabad. The Islamabad understanding, or for that matter, the understanding of the public opinion in Pakistan is that we conceded too much. We tried in good faith to not only make constructive progress on the issue, but we have gone overboard.
Okay. Oh, just lost the link there. Just lost the link there. That was the response. Swapan Das Gupta, we heard the first part. According to Maria Sultan, the feeling is in Pakistan that they actually went overboard. Now, I don't know if that's the right interpretation.
Well, if the perception in Pakistan is that they've gone overboard, I think there's very little common ground.
How is it that you are blaming all your ills on the US? I know statistics are showing more than 50% of Pakistanis believe America is your enemy number one. So where does that put India?
No, I think the enemy number one is India, actually. It's not the United States. We blame the Americans on one point only, and that is that they have deliberately, over the past 8 years, provided India a lot of space in Afghanistan when it was actually Pakistan that helped them secure Afghanistan, remove the Taliban, and establish, of course, a presence there. So we feel, and during those 8 years, the Americans put in Kabul a government put together by the Americans that is vehemently anti-Pakistani. It has people in it who are unable to forget the past, who want to exact revenge for various reasons and various things that happened in the past. And we blame the Americans for doing that. There was a chance that all of us had, India, Pakistan, the United States, and the Afghan people, back in 2001, to set the record straight, to have a new beginning. That was not done. What happened is that the Pashtuns were isolated. And unfortunately, there are some people in your intelligence establishment in India who gave this advice to the Americans, and Americans are now paying a price with the blood of their soldiers.
Mr. Quraishi, we've got your point. We've got your point. I want to come in here. I want to come in here with another quick question. My question is, you are blaming India's presence in Afghanistan as a destabilizing factor for Pakistan. But India has at most 140 protection people, which is around Indian embassies and consulates. 140 paramilitary forces good enough to destabilize Pakistan. And a second linked issue is that Pakistan always says that Afghanistan's your space. Do you assume, because of saying that you are going to let India walk through Pakistan so that you go and take shelter in Afghanistan? By giving away that space to India intellectually, you are assuming that you're going to take, India is going to run over Pakistan, which is not India's intention.
Tonight, Maruf, tonight, I will let our guest, Mr. Quraishi. Okay, yes, Quraishi, answer. Let him answer that. Yeah, please go ahead, Mr. Quraishi. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Yes, I was going to say that your question is fair, and I just want to emphasize one thing, that even I, have tremendous goodwill toward the people of India, toward India as a country. We have no problem with the Indians. Indians are good people, good neighbors. We can have best of relations with India. My problem and our problem, I think, in Pakistan is with a certain mindset within your government, and I mean by that the permanent government, whatever that means, the military political establishment or whatever. And we have a problem with that mindset, and that problem is basically it's true that you have these the presence that you just referred to, but you have something more than that. And frankly, we have a very short time right now. I don't want to go over a whole list, but it suffices to say that you have your security establishment has very close contacts with the security establishment that was put together in Afghanistan after 2001, Karzai's intelligence service, and we have plenty of evidence. By the way, let me just tell you this: we have plenty of evidence that was shared with the Americans, that was shared with Admiral Mike Mullen, that was shared with Deputy Director CIA Mr. Stephen Capes, that showed meetings
Mr. Quraishi,
between people in Kabul, in Kandahar, who are Indian diplomats, meeting people who are inciting trouble in Pakistani Balochistan, who are meeting Brahim Dag Bukti, for example.
Mr. Quraishi,
so there's a lot of evidence of that as well. I understand what you're saying. I understand. But you have a parallel presence in Afghanistan.
Mr. Quraishi, tonight we are not discussing. Mr. Quraishi, I appreciate that, but tonight we remember those 1.5 months of horrible denial from Pakistan after 26/11, eventually exposed by the Pakistani media, GOTV nonetheless, exposing the entire Pakistani
You have good people, you have Ayaz Amir, you have people like Imtiaz Gul, you have people like Ahmed Rashid, you know, you have the former army chief's brother Shuja Nawaz. They have written extensively about all this. So I am not going to waste my time arguing with two youngsters on a television screen because I know the reality.
Okay.
And the reality is there is a nexus.
Very arrogant of you. Very arrogant of you. It's very natural.
Now, don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you.
Mister,
don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you.
If you have an argument, you should make your argument. Do not make fun of your young. Do not make fun of somebody's accent, and do not make fun of somebody being young. Make your argument. Do not make personal attacks. I'm sorry, do not make personal attacks. I do not accept this. Do not make attacks on my accent, and do not make attacks on my age. Make your argument, and that's it.
Okay, he's made your argument. Well, thank you for that, Mr. Quraishi. I have with us.
As I said, that these people think that tomorrow morning they are going to sort out the Tehreek-e-Taliban-e-Pakistan. Sorry, that's not going to happen.
That's not true.
It's going to take a long time. This is a monster you created, a Frankenstein monster. Next. The other,
no, that's not true. No, we have not created any monster. There's an
Pakistan military is selective.
But my brother,
they act against the Tehreek-e-Taliban in Pakistan.
I think your viewers have listened to your point of view. Would you listen to mine? I think you should listen to mine as well.
This is the typical bad manners of a young man interrupting.
Why don't you listen to my viewpoint? I think your viewers have listened to your viewpoint the whole day today.
I didn't interrupt you.
I think you should listen. You should tolerate my viewpoint as well.
Okay, gentlemen.
So you know, on a more serious issue, it betrays a mindset. Let us be clear. There is no remorse for what they did. There isn't going to be remorse. Let's be prepared. But the first thing I want to do is lovers of Afghans.
1 year, India has been unable.
That no
by the way, you are fooling your people. You are deceiving your people. In 1 year, you have not been able to convince.
Well, let me just come into this at this stage. Mr. Quraishi,
you have given us. You have not given us in 1 year any evidence that links
Mr. Quraishi,
you have not convinced us.
Mr. Quraishi is Arnab here. I don't know what you mean by evidence. Whether weapons are evidence, milk packets are evidence, candy bar wrappers are evidence, satellite phones with Pakistan numbers are evidence, details of the dingy that your interior minister came out at a press conference is evidence, phone conversations with handlers in Pakistan is evidence, interrogation details that have come from Pakistan is evidence.
In 1 year, in 1 year,
is that evidence?
My friend, in 1 year, your government has not been able to convince Interpol, has not been convinced
for 20 years. For 20 years, part of the reason, for 20 years, Mr. Quraishi, for 20 years, Mr. Quraishi, for 20 years, part of the reason Pakistan is imploding tonight is because for 20 years it has not looked at evidence. For 20 years, it has not looked at evidence that has come its way.
If you have an evidence, let me give you one challenge. If you have an evidence, go to the International Court of Justice. Why India does not go to the International Court of Justice?
I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. The government of India has done that.
The Interpol is not convinced.
Mr. Quraishi, with respect, out of respect for the 174 people, out of sheer respect for them, in the memory of the 174 people who were butchered by 10 Pakistani men, trained by handlers in Pakistan and supported by the government.
What about the 60
Pakistanis?
What about the 60?
No, I would have said out of respect for those people, I will not get into this debate with you further tonight. Let's have respect for their memory tonight, Mr. Quraishi. Mr. Quraishi, let's have respect for their memory. My next guest.
In the Samjhota Express.
But Mr. Quraishi, realization is to come from within. I can't throw it at your way.
What about 60 Pakistanis
realization is to come within.
By Indian intelligence, by Indian intelligence people?
Mr. Quraishi, realization has to come from within.
Pakistanis on Indian
realization,
soil. What about that?
Came for Ahmed Quraishi.
No, what about that?
What about it came for the other Mr. Quraishi who was foreign minister of Pakistan, who initially said they are not Pakistanis.
And your Hindu extremists
let me move on to my next guest, Mr. Matusek. Mr. Matusek.
What about that?
I am going to... Mr. Quraishi, I will close the discussion with you at this point. Can I please...
What about the 60 Pakistanis?
Mr. Quraishi, the one thing I will not let you do. The one thing I will not let you do today. The one thing I will not let you do